bond for 258 million. We call it as Measure BB, which is again hotly contested. So many Cerritos residents and also those in other cities would like to know your thoughts on this bond.
Well, let's get the facts out. The tax basis that all the homes in the Unified School District operate at some of the lowest in the state of California. It's about 1.08%. You go to the next city up like Montebello, they're over 1.35. So just from the beginning, if you take an average assessment of 300 grand, homeowners in the ABC Unified School District have over $900 a year of less taxes to pay than that same homeowner in Montebello. And why? Let's be honest. Big picture, our cities, Cerritos, Artesia, Lakewood, the school district, they've done a good job of trying to control costs. If they didn't, the taxes would be higher. And simply look at surrounding school districts and where the people live there and what their tax base is. So the proof is in the tax bill. So already from the beginning, everybody who lives in that area, they're operating with very low property taxes. If it's an average of $50 per $100,000 assessed, and they're saying we have an average assessment of 300 grand, it's $150 a year. You're already $900 up over surrounding areas, especially when you compare to Montebello. So we got to ask ourselves, if we are not going to help the school be successful, when are we? They did an incredible process to invite people in, and the key words of that bond, up to $258 million. Not we're going to go spend $258 million, spend $258 million. It's up to. They learned from what went wrong in 2014. They learned what didn't go right in 1997. If this school district is going to be successful, they cannot be successful by starving them to death financially. That is not a solution for anything. Why are the home values up in this area? It's because your schools. So from a financial standpoint, it's protect the schools. You're protecting your own business called your school district that drives up your home values. The school wants to go beyond just being status quo. They want to move into exceptionalism. Let's back them up. Let's help them do it. Let's realize from a financial standpoint, they've done a good job with the cities over the years. Let's invest in our kids and let's protect our home values. Let's help those home values come up because the schools are committed to be able to move on into the 21st century. And then the tough topic is, I don't want to be the voter that votes this down and then God forbid something happens on the campus and we didn't provide the money. 10% of the money is about getting these schools safer. I would want to be the voter that made sure the school is safe. So I am for BB.
Thank you, sir. So another talked about item in Cerritos and adjacent cities is regarding the proposed West Santa Ana Branch Transit Corridor project. Some of our followers would like to know, do you agree with the fact that City of Cerritos officially decided to oppose that development, and also what you would like to tell City of Cerritos?
We are governed best locally. This city has decided they don't want it. It should be their right to say, take us out. Then Bellflower has come forward and said, we want it to be part of. That's part of having local government control over what's going on in your city. Cerritos decided they didn't want to do it. That's fine. That's their right. And if the citizens don't like it, they need to get hold of the city council and let them know, reverse course. But yet Bellflower has stepped forward and said, hey, we actually want it to stop here because we see economic growth. That is their right to be able to do that. Sacramento or regional or state authority should not dictate you must have and you must not. Cities need to be empowered to make decisions for themselves. We are governed best when we are governed locally. So congratulations to both cities of making decisions on behalf of your citizens that's right for your voters.
Thank you, sir. Another hot topic is, affordable housing shortage. As you know, California is really struggling. So the question is that, do you support or do you think that mixed-use developments like the one recently shot down, Artesia Live, do you think this will solve this affordable housing crisis?
Well, the question is, how many of those units are really going to be affordable? We don't know. What we do know is that it had a lot of impact on their neighbors, and their neighbors said, time out, you can't unilaterally go make this decision and then impact us without consequences. We need to have smaller developments that occur so that way when the cities make the decision to go to mixed use, it doesn't punish your neighbors. Just like you can't have a party at 1 a.m. and expect your neighbors to go, okay, go for it. That's called being rude. If you're going to do something that's going to involve your neighbors, you better get a hold of them at the beginning and get their input and find out, do you have to redesign your project? We need to be expediting, as I said earlier, mixed use projects that are aimed at moderate priced homes, not the highest priced homes. There's nothing wrong with a developer wanting to buy a piece of land and develop it for the highest price the market will bear. That's fine. Let them go through the normal processes. But we need to be able to show that if you're willing to cooperate and go through where we're going to have moderate priced homes with a set aside for some low, your city government will partner in and expedite matters through the rezoning and maybe even perhaps give you some reduced fees for the set aside for the low income buyers to be able to own a house. That's called responsible governing. We need to be doing more of that, and we need to do it fast.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure this is a common question from our Democrat friends. So they would like to know, if elected, how will you work with the challenging Republican president?
We have challenging presidents, whether they're Republican or Democrat. The question is, will they have policies and laws that make our lives difficult? So let's be very specific. I am not for overriding the tremendous progress California made for clean air. For the federal government to come in and say, we're going to roll it back and let polluters in? No. I'm sorry. That's where I disagree, because we deserve the cleanest air possible. For the federal government to come in and start doing that, no. So it's not so much whether it's this person or that person that's in the office, it's how it affects us. Just like immigration affects us. It's a huge impact in California. And I hope our members of Congress and the Senate are taking proactive measures to affect the laws that they're looking at doing to change things. We need to be involved and not so much involved with name calling. We're doing a great job of the name calling. And what's it gotten us? Not a whole lot. I'm going to work where it makes sense, and where Washington decides to poke their nose into something that's going to make our lives more difficult, I'm sorry. I want clean air.
Okay, so let us see how we are doing from our live audience. So let us check.
So first of all, thank you. And there are a few comments.
Okay.
And one of the first comments is about the bond is for 30 years and that it would double the value. What would you like to say about that?
How are we going to get the schools safe? The problem is nobody has come up with substantive alternative financing that says if we finance this way, we can go get $258 million. Now, if you want to shorten a period of time, it would raise the cost. So when they had all that input for all those months where people were allowed to go say what they thought, and then the committee that was put in charge realized you got to look at the 30-year option to keep it reasonable, or else elderly would struggle. At $50 a year per 100,000, it's a balance. And it's a balance that I believe will work.
Thank you. And there is another question, if you can take one.
Sure.
This question is, what do you think of Democratic politicians who get assigned bad offices and bad committees by California Democratic Party if they speak out against AB 109?
They need to solve that with their caucus. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if the Republican caucus is going to be very excited about me either. Because I've taken positions that are not necessarily march the party line. I'm not being financed heavily by anybody. I'm being financed primarily by people giving me money because I work for the people. And I've been very upfront. There's going to be things that I will vote against that won't make people in the party happy. And there will be things I will vote for that will make the party happy. I believe we need to do a better job of working with our trade council because when we build, it's our people getting the jobs. And those union jobs pay well. And so you're darn right. I am going to protect our jobs in our district, and I'm going to fight anybody who attacks our families who are trying to get ahead. And that's probably not going to make some people happy.
Thank you.
So here is another question from our Democrat friends. As a Democrat, tell they want to know why they should vote for you instead of your opponent Cristina Garcia, and they would really like to know how you are different from Cristina.
We've spent 2018 being embarrassed. We have international coverage of our district for all the wrong reasons. I don't know where a member of the assembly thinks it's the right thing to have a kegerator in the office. I'm sorry, the kegerator's going. When you come into the office, you're going to find it's professional. You're not going to hear the S word, the F word, or you're never going to hear me referring to people as homo. I'm sorry, that is just, I don't know where somebody finds that they can do that. That's wrong. That's a terrible example for our kids. I want you to be able to bring your children into the 58th Assembly District office and see people working hard to help people. We have a lot of people that need a lot of help because the state government, it's massive. Washington is massive. Sometimes what our citizens need involves not only help from the state, but also involves the federal government. I'm going to hire as many people as I can to keep people close to the voters and help the voters with the problems. I'm going to put an end to this embarrassment. I simply want to go to work. We went over 100 days where she took the self-imposed vacation. We have no committee representation in Sacramento. I want to get on the committees and get to work. I want to be able to show you, the voter, I want to earn your respect, and I realize it's your office. I want to get on these committees to be able to help work on legislation that makes sense for all of us, not just some of us. I'm not going to go out and start insulting people. I'm not going to do the name calling that we've had to endure. It is totally 180 degrees the other way. I simply want to go to work. I want to go to work for us. I want to help get more homes built. I want to see our kids realize they have great job opportunities, and sometimes it does not involve 2 years or 4 years of college. It might involve a year or less, and then you get licensed by the state. Go look at the medical field. It's just exploding, the opportunities to be able to help as we are as a society get older. We need a lot of our young people developing that interest, but yet we have no leadership telling them what to do and showing them. We have an absolute gold mine at this community college in Cerritos, and yet nobody's really making sure our kids in every single high school has a chance to go to that campus and see. All high school kids should. They should be able to sign up, go to Cerritos College campus, and spend a day of orientation. They will find a lot of their educational needs are met there. We have one of the best training institutes for electricians in the United States, right here in Commerce. The union is flush with money to pay a lot of the cost for the apprenticeships. We need to be presenting that to every high school student and say, if you want to be able to build because you like to build, guess what? We have it right here. It's right here in our front yard, in our backyard, and we have a union that wants to be able to help you. We don't have it going on right now. I want to be a promoter of what we have. I also want to be able to be somebody that's going to go find some opportunities that we have and then partner up with whoever we got to partner up with so our kids come first our